The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Minicamp for the New York Jets is in the books. What did we learn? Jets insider Nick Faria will be joining me to share his thoughts on what stood out from the Jets minicamp this week in Florham Park, New Jersey. Plus, yesterday, the New York Knicks, a ticker tape parade down the Canyon of Heroes. I was there to experience it. We'll talk about that as well. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting in here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Jets, let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans and Knick fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is the Jake Asman Show live on a Friday, presented by PrizePicks. The Knicks are world champions, and yesterday, 2 million people filled the Canyon of Heroes for an epic New York Knicks championship party. I was one of the 2 million people that was lucky enough to have been there. So many people were there, but couldn't even get a glimpse of any of the floats. It was crazy how narrow the streets were, the security checkpoints. So it was just a crazy experience all around, but so insane seeing the entire city of New York come together for this moment. And it makes you think one day what it would be like if the team that we love the most around here, the New York Jets, actually won it all. And I'll say it again, if the Knicks could do it, so can the Jets. Because the bottom line is this: for many times over the last 25 years, the New York Knicks were in a way worse situation than the Jets were. Way worse. It can be done. But yesterday was just special. You see some of the images all over social media. Just crazy. Just crazy. Great experience being there with a bunch of Asmaniacs. We all met up at American Whiskey afterwards. Shout out to American Whiskey for hooking me up with a brand new Knicks themed shirt that I'm wearing today. Just awesome. So big shout out to everyone I ran into on the streets. So many people coming up to me who recognize me from the show saying, imagine if this is the Jets. And hopefully one day we all get the opportunity to see and feel what that would look like. Just surreal, man, seeing these images. The Knicks are world champions. The New York Knicks, they won it all. And it's so crazy when you see some of the crowd shots, right? I saw a couple people on social media point this out. Like, these type of videos we'll look back on. I won't be here. If you're watching this, you won't be here. If you ever see those clips on social media, like what the world looked like 100 years ago, what New York City looked like 100 years ago. And like these type of videos are going to be the ones that people show. And what's crazy about this parade is because of the fact they do it in the Canyon of Heroes, you just can't have the amount of people that you should have at something like this. And I understand the history of the Canyon of Heroes, but I think they need to either adjust the parade route to add more of a route or do it down Fifth Avenue and have it end at the Garden or something, because there's just too many great fans who unfortunately did not get the opportunity to really see any of it, and people were getting there at 5 a.m. and still didn't get a spot. Now, I was very lucky. We schemed our way in. This was my view at the parade. These videos I'm about to show you, these are all videos that I captured myself. We got lucky because Lou B is a mastermind. He is a A1 level schemer. So beyond the checkpoint, if you worked at any of the local businesses, you were able to get the work. So Lou B said that this deli that was just past the checkpoint, we all were employees of the deli. So we somehow were able to get through the checkpoint and then scheme our way into the parade. So it was just a surreal experience. When there's a will, there's a way. You see a guy in a tree, by the way, in the background of that last image there. So this was just surreal. Half the people told the police they worked at this deli, and the other half said, well, we have a reservation at the deli. So that's how we were able to somehow get in there and make this work. But I truly do feel for the amount of people who went down there and were unable to get a glimpse of any of it. But if you were there, you felt the energy, you felt the just entire experience of being a part of this thing. Even if you didn't get a glimpse, you just felt the energy. And then afterwards, everyone was out and about in New York City. All the bars were filled, no matter where you went, people wearing Knicks gear. So just an incredible experience being there. Great to meet up with a bunch of listeners, as I mentioned, at American Whiskey after the parade. But this is a forever memory there. Shout out to Lou on the right. All-time scheme to get about 8 of us in to the side streets of Vesey and Barclays, right on the parade route. Just unbelievable. The Knicks, they're NBA champs. And it is, again, a championship that will last forever. And as we spin it forward, hopefully the Jets will one day go down the Canyon of Heroes, or maybe the city will learn, got to adjust the parade route. There's too many people. If you could do the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade and have that be the route, or the Puerto Rican Day parade, all these other parades that are way longer than the less than a mile that is the Canyon of Heroes, there's got to be a way to do it better. But as far as what we'll remember from this parade, those images will last forever, in addition to the championship that the Knicks brought back to the city. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We could talk more about the parade later on in the show. I also want to share this right at the start of today's program. Gangrene Beach Club is the next big Asmaniac event that we have on the docket, July 11th at Oceans Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. You're going to want to be there because we announced it the other day. For those who didn't see it, Jet Great Wayne Corbett is our special guest that's coming by HQ2 to hang out with all the Jet fans who are coming to Gangrene Beach Club. Tickets still available, gangrenebeachclub.com. Go fast. They're $25 for general admission. You don't need to be staying at Gangrene, or you don't need to be staying at HQ2 to attend Gangrene Beach Club. You just need to get a ticket. You can stay at any AC property. You can come for the day, but Wayne's going to be there. And in honor of that, end of today's stream, today's jersey giveaway on a Football Friday is a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Only one live show today here on a Football Friday. That's because I got 4 hours of radio today. I'm filling in for Alan Hahn, Don LaGreca, and Peter Rosenberg on ESPN New York from 3 to 7. So watch on the station's YouTube channel, 8:80 a.m., or on the ESPN New York app. You can listen. So raffle at the end of the show. Get your entries in like Nate already did. Nate_ESQ is in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. Let's go.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Amen, Aaron Glenn. Amen. Speaking of Aaron Glenn, yesterday he decided to cancel the final day of minicamp. The Jets were expected to have a practice, and then Aaron Glenn went up to the podium and said, we ain't practicing. Nick Faria, who covers the New York Jets for Sports Illustrated, joins us now to recap minicamp, which was only 2 days. Nick, how you doing, my man?
How's everything going, Jake? Great to be on. And yeah, listen, 2 quick days of minicamp, that's all we could ask for you. Now it's a summer break.
Am I wrong for saying I don't like the fact that Aaron Glenn canceled the final day? I mean, they went 3-14 last year. Shouldn't you practice and get every opportunity when you can get them?
I think, listen, if they do that in training camp, that's one thing. This is probably the most inconsequential stuff that you could look for because there's no pads on. The most you can prepare right now is just in the classroom. That's where a lot of these teams are really focusing. A lot of teams across the league are kind of doing away with minicamp altogether. So this doesn't surprise me. I don't think it's a good or bad decision. I just think it's something the Jets decided to do, and they move forward with it.
So Glenn spoke yesterday before the summer break as the Jets will open up training camp in late July. What were your takeaways from hearing from the head coach for the final time?
It's just moving ahead, making sure the guys are in the right mindset. The one thing I think you see this year specifically Aaron Glenn is all about player empowerment. Frank Reich is all about player empowerment. These coaches are essentially going to their players and saying, we're going to trust you here to figure this out. We're going to trust you to take care of your bodies and be ready to go for the start of training camp. But moving forward, it's going to be a lot different. The expectations are a lot higher this year simply because Aaron Glenn's coaching for his job. He knows it. The roster knows it. There's a sense of urgency in the room when you walk into the team facility. So it's just a matter of, for Aaron Glenn, making sure that all these guys are going to remain healthy for the next month, make sure that they're ready to go when it comes to the start of training camp at the end of July, and putting them in a position to succeed in the long term.
What did you learn from the 2 days you did see the Jets at minicamp this week?
I mentioned the player empowerment. You're seeing that very early on. I like what I've seen from this receiving core. Omar Cooper, A.D. Mitchell. I've talked about A.D. Mitchell pretty much every single time I've been on a show. He was just absolutely fantastic. But I will say, with Aaron Glenn's defense, it's not going to be truly like what it was in Detroit. I think the roster is a little bit different. They're a little bit better along the inside than I think Detroit was early on in his tenure. But he's in a position right now to really be successful and have this defense play a lot better. I've liked what I've seen so far from Minkah Fitzpatrick and Dane Belton and even Andre Sisco at safety. Nashawn Wright has been the best cornerback consistently throughout minicamp and OTAs. And again, the linebacker position, a lot of people are worried about the depth of that spot. But I think Jamian Sherwood's had a good offseason workout schedule. DeMario Davis has been excellent. And then you add the collection of young players like Kiko Mauigoa and Marcelino McCrary-Ball. Both have made quality plays during this stretch of offseason workouts. So this defense is immensely talented. They're going to be a lot better, I think, than they were last year. And the only question is, will Aaron Glenn's scheme be able to enhance these guys' talents? Will he be able to get the most out of some of these players, like a second overall pick in David Bailey, like a younger player in Jamian Sherwood who needs to bounce back off a bad year? A lot of questions still to come, a lot of questions still to be answered, but I've liked what I've seen from this Jets defense.
You mentioned David Bailey. I mean, all eyes will start to really be focused in on him once training camp gets here and the pads are on. You get a much better idea on where he is at. Your thoughts on what you saw from David Bailey through OTAs and minicamp?
Yeah, really nothing much. And I think Rich Cimini posted something on X about how he doesn't grade offensive line and defensive line. And I think that's a safe bet right now. I mean, there's not a single person on this planet who is going to look at a quality rep in OTAs and say, absolute stud right away. We don't need to see anything more. When it comes to the trenches, the pads need to come on before we understand just how good a guy like Armand Membu is or how fast David Bailey is. The one thing we can really talk about is, what are the Jets tackles talking about when it comes to this second overall pick? And both Olu Fashanu and Armand Membu have been very complimentary. They talk about his get-off speed. They talk about his physicality. All of that is great to see. It's just a matter of we have to wait a little bit. Got to wait another month before we truly see just how good David Bailey can be in this defense.
The other rookies, let's hit on them. Give us your assessment, obviously, on all of them besides Kenyon Sadiq, who didn't really practice much because
look, I like what I like what I've seen from Omar Cooper. I think he can be a very dependable player in this passing attack. And really, you have a young trio of Garrett Wilson, Cooper, and A.D. Mitchell. And if the Jets are going to get anything consistent out of A.D. Mitchell, I think you're looking at a very up-and-coming receiving trio for this offense and across the NFL as well. It's not top 10. It's not top 15 by any stretch. They need to prove it. But I like the potential that all three bring to the table. They sort of all complement each other and their skill sets. I talk about D'Angelo Pons, the slot corner extraordinaire. He's had some really good reps over the last few practices, like what I've seen for his development. Then, of course, you get into the later rounds. Darrell Jackson signed his contract late. Don't really want to judge interior defensive players. Payne, the safety, I think, had a couple of plays in the last couple of minicamp practices. And then you look at Cade Klubnik, the fourth-round pick, had a great start to OTAs, then kind of trailed off. Then, of course, he had the back injury. So no one really knows what it's going to look like for him when he comes back at full strength after training camp. That being said, if there is one negative takeaway, throughout this entire offseason plan. It's the fact that there's not a single quarterback that has really stepped up and said, I am the number 2 guy. I'm the guy that this team should rely on should something happen to Geno Smith. Klubnik is too young, too inconsistent. Have not liked what I've seen from Bailey Zappi, and Brady Cook has really struggled just objectively. So if these Jets are comfortable just throwing Geno Smith out there for a full 17 games, that's perfectly fine. But it's very clear to me right now that there is no clear-cut number 2 guy, number 2 option if something were to happen to them. And that is a dangerous, dangerous game the Jets are playing, considering 4 of the last 5 years they've started 3 different quarterbacks.
Well, do you think they're going to sign a veteran before training camp?
I don't know if it's going to be before training camp, but I certainly think midway through, potentially, if this continues. The last couple of days of practice, it was Geno Smith making some plays, and then you kind of waited to see what the second and third and fourth string offenses would look like, and nothing really looked good. Everything looked out of sync. There were errant throws. There was one particular throw, I won't name the quarterback, but there's a guy running wide open on the left side of the field, and the quarterback's not even looking at him. Now, part of that is it may not be his read 100%, but he's not going through the progressions. Geno Smith goes through his progressions very quickly, and I actually think he does a very good job of that. You saw that throughout practices, but you didn't see that with the backups, and that's an alarming thing when, in reality, you could be looking at a backup quarterback starting maybe 1 to 2, even 3 games this season based on how the NFL schedule looks.
It's just going to be interesting to me how they want to approach backup in terms of, do they go into training camp and see if, like, Klubnik, assuming he's healthy, could go and take a stranglehold of the backup spot, or are they scared off by what they saw in OTAs and minicamp / the injury where they feel like they need to add a Cooper Rush or someone like that?
Look, and I'm not going to – I wouldn't be surprised if they signed someone before training camp, but at the very least, with that, what Aaron Glenn has said, he wants to allow these guys to continue to compete. Maybe we get to a point early on in camp where Cade Klubnik just plays out of his mind and looks really, really good. And they say, okay, we're going to have the rookie be our backup, and we're going to be comfortable if we have to throw him in the fire. Maybe Bailey Zappi steps up and proves that he belongs as a backup quarterback. We don't know at this point because it's too early to tell. But by and large, with what we've seen from OTAs, none of them looks particularly consistent. None of them look particularly good. And that's going to open up the question for a guy like Cooper Rush, for a potential trade later on in training camp, should an injury happen across the league. It puts the Jets in a difficult situation, the fact that no one's looked quite as consistent as this fan base and this organization probably wants at this point.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Nick Faria from Sports Illustrated, who covers the Jets, of course, with us here, breaking down the end of Jets minicamp. Aaron Glenn deciding to cancel the final day yesterday. Kind of got buried in the news cycle as the Knicks were out and about celebrating a championship. Maybe some of the Jets went down to the parade and saw what could happen if you actually win in New York. But I digress.
That was them saying, you know what, no one's going to really care if we do this. Let's everyone go to the parade. Enjoy yourself.
There's no doubt. Our weekly raffle this week is going to likely be on Sunday. There won't be a Saturday show, planning a Sunday show. I want to remind people, here's what we're giving away this week on the show. All your entries go towards both the weekly raffle and, of course, our daily raffle. And we have a signed Wayne Corbett jersey up for grabs. Signed Garrett helmet's the top prize. Signed Klecko helmet is our other top prize. Signed Darrell Rivas end zone pylon prize 3. How about 2 tickets to Gangrene Beach Club, now featuring Wayne Corbett? And last but certainly not least, a Jalen Brunson NBA Finals jersey. So 5 prizes in the weekly. And again, for those just tuning in, end of today's show, how about a signed Wayne Corbett jersey up for grabs? You could gift a membership, send me a Venmo or a super chat to qualify. And ladies and gentlemen, a 10 spot from this man.
Sometime I do super chat. Sometime I do give membership. But all the time, I love the Jake Asman show. They call me Cisco Lopez.
Cisco's 10 went to STR David, Aiken 58, EF Arjardo, BG93, Big Jack 33, Cap Condor, Jet Life 99, Moody 671, Electricity, Key Studios, Joe Galino, all receiving a gifted membership there from Cisco Lopez. Nick, give us some players beyond the ones you alluded to in your commentary that have really impressed you when you gotten the chance to watch them throughout the offseason program.
Yeah, we got to start with Trey Brown, the cornerback, free agent pickup this offseason. I've liked what I've seen from him in coverage. Quite frankly, I think he's been probably one of the more underrated players in a difficult position because they're not going to cut AZ Thomas. They're not going to cut any of these younger players that they have. All of them have been brought in to develop under Aaron Glenn. So Brown is essentially trying to prove himself as a special teams guy and then also trying to prove himself around the league, that he belongs in the National Football League. But I'll tell you what, man, he had a one-handed pick in OTAs early on in minicamp. I believe it was Tuesday. Made a great play on the ball on a fade route. Receiver was taller than him. He deflected it away. Brown's been very consistent. He's been a surprise to me so far. I'd like to see what happens when the pads come on, see if that continues going forward. And then, of course, at receiver, it has to be Isaiah Williams. It has to be. This is a guy where his role is set. He's going to be, whether it's the kick returner, whether it's the punt returner, whether it's both, it doesn't matter. He's going to be one of the top returners on this team. He's going to be one of the top returners in the National Football League just based off of last year. He was the #1 graded returner by Pro Football Focus. They had to, and I stress had to, they had to put him in the offensive game plan because the receiving core was decimated last year and their passing offense was anemic. He was okay in that role. He wasn't great, but he was okay. This year, you're seeing that he's faster. You're seeing that his route running is really good. He looks like a guy that you can trust to give 4 or 5 touches on offense a game and allow him to make plays with his legs. So he's been a surprise to me because I look at him kind of like in the same way I look at Kenny Nguanu. I don't see them getting reps in game action. I don't see a path for them to do that except for being great returners. For Isaiah Williams, it's a little bit of a different story. He is competing for that 4th wide receiver spot, and I think he's comfortably in the lead right now because he's played so well. He gets open, he catches the football, and he's able to do a lot of things when he gets his hands on the ball. So clearly a guy that I think the Jets are excited about. He's developing at a really good quality level, and I think he can have a major impact on this offense going forward.
Do you look at the skill position group that the Jets have, Nick, and say if Geno Smith's competent, this could be a good offense?
Absolutely. Well, first off, it's not even about the skill position group. It's about the offensive line. That's what makes or breaks any offensive line in the National Football League. The Chiefs struggled last year for a number of different reasons, but chief among them was the fact that the offensive line was not very good. The Washington Commanders were in the NFC Championship game 2 years ago. Last year, they weren't. Why? Because their offensive line took a major step back. The offensive line for the New York Jets has the potential to be a top 10 group. They had the potential to do that last season. They didn't really live up to those kind of expectations, but they were still a good offensive line. They were really good protecting the passer, and they had a quarterback that hung on to the football longer than anyone else in the National Football League. It was a disaster. I think their struggles at times last year had more to do with the quarterback position than it had to do with their overall performance. This offensive line is good enough to be really, really good. And because of that, this Jets offense has the potential to be really, really good. But going from okay to great, you have to have a combination of a great offensive line and really, really talented receivers and runners to be able to marry it all together. For really the first time in a very long time, you feel that with the New York Jets. When Aaron Rodgers was in tow, they had Garrett Wilson, they had Breece Hall, but they were hoping that Allen Lazard would be a number 2. They were hoping some veterans would be able to step up. And it never really worked out because there was a clear need at wide receiver 2, and then the offensive line stunk, and then all these other different problems. This is the first time in a very long time that this Jets offense feels complete. And as long as Geno Smith can play competent football, yes, this group has the potential to be good and even really good throughout the season.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Speaking of really good, how about this from Mimosa? $50 10 raffle ticket. She sent it via Venmo. Mimosa in the house.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
We're giving away a Wayne Krebet signed jersey at the end of the show. Mimosa's comment talked about no number 2 QB contender and no kicker. Same old Jets. Now, as far as the kicking situation goes, we know Cade York is still here despite some struggles throughout the OTA and minicamp practices that you guys were at. They also added Jason Sanders. Let me ask you the question like this. Is the Jets week 1 kicker currently on the roster?
No, I still don't think so. Listen, and I know Sanders was really good. There's still some questions about his health. And I said this, I think I said this the last time I was on your show, Jake. If Cade York wins this kicking battle for the Jets don't have a starting kicker. They just don't, because I don't trust Cade York to be able to be successful and consistent for a full 17-game season. If Jason Sanders is healthy, sure, but I don't have that with Cade York. So as of this moment right now, June 19, 2026, I truly believe that the kicker that the Jets are going to walk into week 1 with is not on the roster currently.
I don't know why they couldn't just keep Nick Falk.
Look, it makes a lot of sense, but also let's be fair. If Jason Sanders is healthy, that's your kicker. If he is consistent enough from beyond 40, 50 yards, that's your kicker. Now, he had one bad miss. I think it was 2 days ago when we saw special teams play work, but he was more consistent than Cade York. So I think he will get a little bit of an edge walking into training camp. But there's an injury history there. There is some concern that he's not able to get back to where he was as an all-pro player. And because of that, you have to be cautious. So maybe he produces, maybe he looks good in camp. It's, again, a wait-and-see game. But at the very least, it's a question that still needs to be figured out for this team going forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, John J. Williams using Zelle to enter the raffle for 2 entries.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Yeah, that's right. John, you are in for 2. The New York Knicks are world champions. And Nick, this is an image that Knicks fans have dreamed of seeing. Confetti falling down at a Knicks ticker tape parade that ends at City Hall. Surreal seeing the New York Knicks winning it all and have this amazing parade yesterday.
Listen, special moment. I was a part. I went to 2 parades myself over the last decade. I'm a little surprised at how New York kind of handled it. New York City kind of handled it, where it was so short. And again, teach their own. Different cities have different ways of doing it. I know Philadelphia, that the trek was at least 3-4 miles, and it started at the stadium, and then it went all the way to the Rocky Steps. So you had to go through Broad Street the entire way through. It was a very long parade. Little surprised New York didn't do that. But again, it's a different situation. It's a different city. And I'm sure a lot of people like yourself are never going to forget that.
Nope. And the only thing that I think would be sweeter in my fandom of my teams is if the New York Jets could somehow win a Super Bowl and have a parade in New York City. I don't think it's going to be Aaron Glenn and I on a float together if this were to ever happen. But God, I don't even know how I would react if I got to experience the Jets winning it all.
Well, let's ask this question here, Jake. Let's say next year they pull off the miracle and they end up winning the Super Bowl. And Aaron Glenn comes to you and says, you have to apologize and really come to terms with all the vitriol that you gave me over the offseason. And if you do, you can come with me on the float. It's an interesting conundrum here, because you gotta talk to someone who asked who his job was, what his job was for a good portion of the offseason.
If Aaron Glenn leads the Jets to a Super Bowl, I will do whatever I have to do to bow down to him for the rest of my life. All right. First off, forget the Super Bowl. If Aaron Glenn got the Jets to the playoffs, I'd be one of the people leading the Coach of the Year campaign, as I've stated on the record numerous times. I want to be wrong about the guy. I'm just not a blind fanboy that's going to ignore how ugly and disgusting it looked for a 3-14 season.
Sure. Listen, I'm rooting solely for that. I want to see the turn from Jake going, what is this? What is his job? What does this guy do? What is his role on the team to Coach of the Year, baby? And I want to see it happen like on a dime. Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
It is unreal what that feeling would be like. I can't picture. I don't know what that feeling would be like.
It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time.
I'm just glad I got to see the Knicks win, because who knows when the next one's coming. I think the Yankees got a shot, but they've gone 17 years, so we shall see. Let me give some love to Ozzy. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for one. Ozzy, thank you.
Yeah, we are the champions, me and my friends from New York. We love the Knicks.
Yeah, thank you very much to Ozzy. How about some love from one of our OGs? I just got this Venmo. Dark Knight Steve in the house. He purchased 10 raffle tickets. Steve, you are the man. Let's go.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Don't leave. Who let the dogs out? Don't leave.
Shout out to Nate, who won a David Bailey jersey on the show the other day. Nate, I ordered it. We will get it sent to Canada as soon as it arrives here in New York. Shout out to Mike DeRamo, who I was hanging out with yesterday. Mike and his daughter Carly came to the Asmaniac meetup at American Whiskey yesterday after the Knicks championship parade. David writes in, Nick, last year in a show of personal accountability, many of the young Jets showed up to camp chiseled. Anyone specifically you saw from any of the Jets who showed a significant bulk increase?
I mean, it's got to be Braylon Allen, right? I mean, the guy is literally the same size as David Bailey and Kingsley Enagbare and Joseph Osai and Fred Warner. I mean, this is ridiculous. This guy gained, 10, 15 pounds. He's now 250, 255. I compare it a little bit to Jerome Bettis and Christian Okoye. For those of you who are not NFL historians, that's the Nigerian nightmare. But besides the point, if he can just turn it around, man, if he can be a productive member of this offense and be that sort of power back, the Brandon Jacobs, if you will, this offense changes completely overnight. So I'm waiting to see that. I want to see what happens with Braylon Allen. I want to see him take that next step going forward. I think he can, but he's got to stay healthy in order to do so. And it's a big question going forward.
We're going to see how they ultimately deploy Braylon Allen. I think right now it's a lot of potential with him still until we actually see
always potential. That's the thing. Like, we've been saying this his rookie year. We said this his sophomore year. You know, at some point it's got to either click or they got to go in a different direction. It could happen this year because I think Frank Reich's offense is going to put them in a position to succeed. But it's a big question mark because every year, every offseason, we look and we say, Braylon Allen looks good, man. He busts off a couple of runs here and there. But it never comes through when the games actually matter. So a big question mark going forward.
I want to talk about Geno Smith a little more. We kind of glossed over his performances in OTAs and minicamp. You know, they've been focused on Cade Klubnik and some of the other storylines with this team. What will it mean for the Jets to have a competent quarterback under center this year?
Well, what would that look like, right? That's got to be the question. What does a competent quarterback look like? Because we thought a competent quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, putting up the numbers he did in 2024, that'll be good enough for the team to be successful. Turned out wasn't even close because while the numbers were good, the eye test, the tape, it showed a completely different story. He didn't trust his Achilles. He wasn't trusting what he was looking at, and the arm talent wasn't there, what it was like when he was with the Green Bay Packers. So it's a lot of – those are the kind of questions you got to figure out with Geno because – here is a player with a big arm, and he loves to sling it. This guy is going to go down by the sword. He's going to try to sling it down the field, get as many big plays as he possibly can. But that's going to get him into some trouble. That means he's going to turn the ball over a little bit more. So you're going to have a give and take with Geno Smith as a quarterback. Now, does that mean he should lead the league in interceptions? No. This team is far too talented for him to have as bad of a year as he had with the Las Vegas Raiders. But I think a competent year where you're looking at 3,000 yards, over 25 touchdowns, maybe a double-digit interception total, I think that's perfectly fair for Geno Smith. He's still got it in terms of his arm talent. He's still very accurate. You'd love to see him cut down on the turnovers, but it's the give and get with a quarterback like that, and you want to see some excitement in this offense. He's certainly going to give that for this team.
Jay Cuddy says, if AG leads the Jets to a 9-8 record, I demand Jake wear a Glenn jersey all of the 27 season. How about make the playoffs? And we could talk.
Whoa, hold on here. Hold on. I think, Jake, let's also be fair a little bit. If
9-8 and miss the playoffs is like going 10-6 and missing the playoffs with Bulls in 2015. They have a 15-year playoff job. Make the playoffs. I'll do whatever Glenn wants.
Jake, if they're 9-8 after a 3-win season,
it's a great improvment, and
that's
I'll get credit.
Insane turnaround.
Yes, but they have to make the playoffs. Like, again, 2015 happened. They overachieved. They surprised. We don't look back on that year and think, oh, it was great because they won 10 games.
It was a lot of fun for a lot of Jets fans, man.
Yeah, and it ended in pain.
Yeah, it does it for 31 other teams in the
right. But there's levels of pain. If they had lost in the wild card round, I don't look back at 2006 negatively because they lost to the Pats in the first round. It was a great year. Pennington was awesome. Eric Mangini, year one. They need to make the playoffs. That's the expectation.
I don't know if it's fair to put playoffs as an expectation in year two, but they need to be better. They need to be consistently better.
It's my expectation if I'm going to wear an Aaron Glenn jersey on the show for an entire year.
Fair enough. But I do think 9 wins for Aaron Glenn puts him in the Coach of the Year conversation.
And look, if he wins 9 games, he's definitely getting a third year and will have earned it. There's no doubt. But you got to be.
I think 7 is the demarcation point. 7 is where you kind of look and say, well, it depends on how they look. But they get to 8-9 wins. I think he's clearly safe going into year 3.
Oscar says, "Don't let the euphoria of the Knicks championship run fool you. We're still the Jets."
Listen, I was sitting down with Robbie Sabo a couple weeks ago, actually. We were talking about snake-bitten franchises. And we actually all agreed that there were originally 5 true snake-bitten organizations in the National Football League. The Bills, the Jets, the Browns, the Lions, and at one point it was the Philadelphia Eagles. And it was those 5 teams that didn't matter what they did. The fan base was always rabid. The fan base was great, but they just found a way to lose. Eventually, it's going to turn. Eventually, the stars are going to align, and it's all going to work out for the organization in a magical season. And maybe it turns into a magical run for a few years. I know Jet fans don't want to hear that. I know they look and say, that's ridiculous. It's never going to happen to us. It hasn't for 50 years. All you need is 1 year. All you need is one magical year like the Knicks had, and everything changes for the organization.
Orange and blue skies. One day the confetti, instead of orange and blue down at City Hall, is hopefully green and white. Because God, this fan base certainly deserves it. And I don't care what I got to do. I got to get on a float. I need to be on a float if the Jets were to ever win. Down the Canyon of Heroes, or hopefully by then they adjust the route so more people could be a part of it.
I think there would have to there'd have to be a deal with Jets PR where there's got to be like a press conference where you are just like listing all the reasons why you were wrong about Aaron Glenn in order for them to even consider that.
It won't be with him, unfortunately, but hopefully, whoever the
crazy things have happened, man. They said this a lot about Dan Campbell too in year 1.
You're gonna do the Lions Jets thing, really?
I mean, what else we got here, man? We got a month and a half before training camp starts.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got week 1 in Nashville, Nick, and I'm gonna be there. The Asmaniacs are going to be there. It is going to be absolutely incredible. And in honor of week 1 in Nashville, it's never too early to start previewing that game. We're presented by PrizePicks. I put together my first week 1 Jets-Titans lineup at PrizePicks. $20 to win 60. It features both the quarterbacks in the game that day. Geno Smith, 199.5 passing yards. Cam Ward, 189.5 passing yards. You going more or less on both QBs in week 1 of 2026?
I think I'm going more to be safe. Again, right now, what happens if there's an injury? What happens if a player is playing poorly or is dealing with something? That obviously changes the tune. But I think 199 for Geno Smith is child's play for this offense going forward with Frank Reich calling plays.
Cam Ward, more or less, 189.
I'll still take more. I think the Jets defense is going to be improved, but I also think the Jets could build out a large lead and force the Titans to have to throw the football. I don't trust anything from the Titans offensive line at this point. They haven't shown anything.
I'd go more on both these. I think the Jets are going to have Geno throw a lot, and I think Cam Ward is going to throw against the Jets secondary that I have questions about. And it's first game of Glenn coaching the defense. There could be some growing pains, miscommunications. I don't know. 189 in the NFL is not that many yards to eclipse.
Well, Justin Fields.
If your quarterback's not, Brady Cook or Justin Fields, that is.
God. Oh, God.
Make your own picks for week 1, Jets Titans. Plus, now that the NBA finals are done, PrizePicks focusing in on the World Cup, UFC, boxing, Major League Baseball, you name it. They got different odds that you could check out and make your own picks. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring our show. Wayne Corbett's coming to Gangrene Beach Club. Nick Faria will be at Gangrene Beach Club. End of today's show, signed Corbett jersey. And since we're only doing one live show today, make sure you enter, because the next time you hear from me will be Sunday. We'll have the weekly raffle. Your chance to win 5 prizes this week, Jet fans. Garrett Wilson signed helmet, Klecko signed helmet, Revis signed pylon, Gangrene tickets, 2 of them to Gangrene Beach Club, and a Jalen Brunson NBA Finals jersey. And if you're a fan who wins the Brunson jersey and you don't want a Knicks jersey, maybe you're not a Knicks fan, you prefer a Jets jersey, you could swap it for a Jets jersey with the player of your choosing. Jay Cuddy says, I think we're going to lose week 1, and 70% of the fan base is going to be out on AG no matter what happens next week. Well, if they lose week 1, you better win week 2. Otherwise, it's here we go again. Snowball.
This is kind of what, and I know, Jake, you got some flack for calling it a must-win. I don't want to call it a must-win, but it's almost a can't lose. You cannot lose to Robert Saleh in his first game with the Tennessee Titans after everything that transpired towards his latter part of the 2024 season when he was fired 5 games in. It's one of those games where if they win, everyone breathes a sigh of relief. Okay, we've got some optimism and you go forward. But if you lose, that is a massive, massive blemish in the eye. It's going to be a massive blemish in Woody Johnson's eyes and this fan base's eyes as well, because you can't lose that game to a team that you're better than, more talented than, and should be better coached by.
God help us if they start 0-2.
Which, by the way, and I'll sit here and say this: could they start 0-2? Absolutely, would not surprise me. Could they start 2-0? Also a possibility, because we can talk about how the Green Bay Packers are so much better than the New York Jets, but they did not win a single game without Micah Parsons last season. That is a team that I think is going to take a massive step back this year.
Who'd they play, though? They played good teams down the stretch.
They didn't win. They got blown out in almost every game. They didn't play well, really, for most of the year. They had a terrible game against the Cowboys.
Do you think the Packers without Micah are a worse team than the Jets?
I think if the Jets are fully healthy, if they're coming off a win, certainly anything can happen, especially because it's their home opener. But I don't trust the Packers with anything. And you're telling me they're not going to be without their best defensive player, arguably their best player on the field.
But you trust the Jets to win against Green Bay?
I'm not saying I trust it. I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised by it. That's all I'm saying.
I hope it happens. Believe me, I hope it happens. Big fella checks in. We need to add Tootsie's Orchard Lounge to the bar crawl in Nashville. Places like legendary Broadway bar. I will pass that along to the people that are in charge of that Nashville bar crawl that a bunch of Asmaniacs are participating in. That is our friends over at Game Day Flight Club. I want to remind people, RSVP, if you're coming to Nashville, we're doing a party the day before the game at Barstool Nashville, right on Broadway, 4 to 7, doing a live show from there. So come on down, hang out. And then the next morning, 8 a.m., tailgate right next to the stadium. Details on the exact location will be announced, but you can lock in your tickets now for $75. It increases to $85 after July 1. So if you want to save some coin, go to GameDayFlightCrew.com and get your ticket for our tailgate for week 1 in Nashville. Next week on the show, I'm going to have a link for people to reserve spots if you want to join us for Jets Dolphins in the Asmaniac home game annual meetup on October 25th. So for those asking about that, appreciate your patience. We secured the tickets. They're going to be roughly $150 for people. It will include the opportunity to go on the field afterwards and get a picture on the MetLife field with you and your guests who are making the trip. So a little update on that for those of you planning to come to our event on October 25th. Nick Faria is our guest. If you guys have a question on anything OTA/minicamp, now is the time to write it in. Nick, I want to read you a tweet from Rich Cimini. He did his stock up, stock down, and one of the names that he mentioned for a stock up continues to be A.D. Mitchell, who I know you mentioned earlier. What can we expect from AD. Are you bullish on him after watching him play really well throughout the spring here?
Certainly bullish, but I think it's also an understanding of what he's been able to do and what his talent level looks like. You got to remember, this was a guy that many people thought was going to be a first-round pick when he was drafted a couple of years ago by the Indianapolis Colts, but then it wasn't really a good fit. The Colts already had quality receivers. They simply didn't have enough room for him in the offense, and they waited until, the last possible opportunity to get rid of him early on and just sort of, toss him to the wind and say, okay, listen, you're not going to play well with us. Go somewhere else. So they trade him to the Jets as part of the Sauce Gardner deal. But listen, he's got great hands. The route running is terrific. The speed is off the charts. I know he had some problems with drops last season. If he can focus on that concentration where it's no longer a consistent issue for him, you are looking at the number 2 wide receiver for the Jets over the next few years. He really has that potential. I don't think he's ever going to be a 1, but you're looking at a guy that can take the top off of defense, can really make things difficult, especially with Garrett Wilson. He has not had a competent number 2 wide receiver that he can really grow with and say, I can go in and do my own thing without forcing more than what I am. A.D. Mitchell's going to allow him to play up to his talent, play up to his expectations, and open up this offense. So I'm certainly bullish about Adonai Mitchell. I am a little cautious to see what it looks like with the pads come on. But that speed, that route running, man, he's going to be open, and he's going to be open a lot this year.
What's a stat line projection for him, you think?
I would say anything under 700 yards would be a massive disappointment. I think the Jets are going to be able to throw the football convincingly this year. I think they're going to be a lot better. I think the 700-800 yard mark for a number 2 is going to be quality numbers for him. It's going to be a breakout in his sense, and I think the Jets are going to be able to give him that opportunity going forward.
Could be fascinating to see how quickly he is involved, and then the roles for Sadiq and Taylor.
Sure.
Again, Frank Reich has a very vital job for this team's success because the head coach is going to give you nothing offensively that's going to help the team. So it's really all on Frank Reich to design an offense that could tap into some of the talent that does exist on that side of the ball.
And listen, I'm excited to see what Kenyon Sadiq looks like in this offense. I think one player that I do have to talk about that I didn't like what I saw from him is Mason Taylor. Without Sadiq on the field, you want to see a second-year tight end sort of start to blossom a little bit, always get open, be able to catch the football consistently, be a focal point in the system. And you didn't see that really throughout OTAs and throughout minicamp. He had a really bad drop on Wednesday. I mean, a really bad drop. Was easily there for a touchdown. No one else was around him. The ball went right through his hands in the back of the end zone. Maybe a better pass, he makes that catch, but that's a catch that he has to make. It was a bad drop. And I look at the tight end position group, and if they can get Mason Taylor and Kenyon Sadiq to be dependable options, there are not many defenses in the National Football League that will be prepared to stop the Jets in that way. But if Mason Taylor is going to struggle this year, it changes a little bit of what the Jets are going to be able to do. So I'm interested to see how Mason Taylor comes back into training camp, coming off an OTA and minicamp that I thought was a little bit disappointing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria is our guest. Last chance to ask him any questions related to the New York Jets, minicamp, and anything that stood out. What else have we missed, Nick? What else do you have in the notebook of yours that you reporters keep as you're keeping track of everything?
Yeah, trying to remember off the top of my head, just going through Twitter and everything. And I mentioned Trey Brown already. I mentioned a lot of these guys. The one thing I will say is if you are a fan of Andre Sisco, I don't think he's just going to be a simple camp body. I think he's here to compete for a starting role, and he's done a good job. He's had a lot of injuries last year. He was the big free agent the year prior for that safety room. Now he's kind of like the third or fourth option, competing with someone like Malachi Moore. But I think he's played very well. And quite frankly, I've been impressed with what he's been able to do. I've been impressed with the entire safety room. This secondary, I know you have some trepidation about this group, but it's an improved roster. Brandon Stevens, I think, has looked good. Nashawn Wright, I've already talked about, looks stellar, like a true Pro Bowl cornerback, able to make plays on the ball, have anticipation, unlike a former All-Pro that the Jets had. They never really saw that. And then, of course, a safety room that I think is going to be an underrated group. This secondary is going to be hard to beat this year, regardless of who the quarterback is.
Really? Andre Cisco has shown you something.
He's looked good. And again, when I sit here and say this, it always gets taken into account of wait to see what the pads come on. But clearly the Jets trust him. They want to see what he looks like in this defense. And I think he's played well. If he comes out and struggles at the beginning of camp, that obviously changes. But he's had a good OTA and minicamp session.
All right. Well, maybe he'll surprise us. That's an interesting note there. Big fella says, will Sanders be our kicker? Did Will McDonald gain weight?
Listen, I haven't really looked at the defensive line for the most part because, again, there's no pads. Every time they run the football, it's at half speed. There's no way to determine what this defensive line looks like at this point. I will say, Sanders, as we talked about, was the best kicker when they had these workouts on Wednesday. Did miss a kick from 50-plus yards, so that is a question for concern. He's got that hip injury that he's going to be recovering from. So, again, part of that concern as well. But if he has a good camp, then yes, I think the Jets should be more comfortable going to Jason Sanders than going to Cade York going in for week 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Nick Faria. Nick, how will you spend the next, 6 weeks or roughly before training camp opens?
So it's fine. So I'm going to be writing as always. I never stop writing. I write at least 2-3 articles a day. But my wife, the lucky bastard that she is, listen to this. She's going to Disney for 2 days around the second week of July. And then 10, 11 days? She's in Singapore and Vietnam for school, for work purposes. So she, as the social media manager at Hofstra, gets to go in and enjoy herself, have a lovely trip to Disney, have a lovely trip to Asia. And here I am going to be sitting on my ass watching television for 11 days, making sure that I don't burn the house down.
You should throw a party.
Yeah, it's not really my style. Like maybe have some drinks, have some guys come over, watch some baseball, but the Mets stink. That's the problem.
Invite some Asmaniacs. Maybe Beast could be your personal chef.
I appreciate Beast for who he is and what he brings to the Asmaniac crew. There are a lot of things that I wouldn't want to see in my apartment. I think he's top 5 on that list.
Ouch! Hey, hit my teeth. Oh well. Have some people gone completely insanely nuts? And not no peanuts, not Cracker Jack nuts, not Wolfa nuts, not Hoffa nuts, and not especially Sadiq nuts. Boy, I was obsessed with Sadiq, certified freak. Obviously, got a bona fide freak. I'm obsessed with Sadiq, certified freak, 7 days a week.
Yeah, B, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Nick, thanks for hopping on, and we'll keep it rolling. We'll find something to talk about these next couple of weeks here before.
Absolutely. Great, buddy. I'll talk to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Faria with us there. Read his work in Sports Illustrated. Still kicking over the Knicks championship parade yesterday and everyone who was a part of it. I just saw this crowd shot from Front Office Sports that I could share. This is a view from someone up on a light pole of what it looked like. Mitchell Robinson got to ride in his own truck down the Canyon of Heroes. He had someone driving it for him, and then he was on the back of it, giving love to the fans. Just unreal, man. Unreal. And again, this is the type of videos you'll see, what New York was like, what people were like on Earth 100 years ago. Just look at how many people have no view of this thing that tried to go. That's why I think they need to completely expand the parade route. I get the history of the Canyon of Heroes. I understand how cool that is. But it's just too many people. And if you want to have all these security checkpoints, you need to give people more opportunities to see this thing. I mean, people were priced out of the building to go to the actual playoff games. So give the diehards a chance to experience this, and you got to expand the route. But the images that we got from this thing are still surreal. And again, these are all the images that I took myself. These are my photos here. Unreal, man. Here's my view of Mitch. Look at the guy in the tree behind each of the players here. The guy in the Brunson jersey in the tree. I thought this guy was going down the whole time. I was waiting for it. Didn't happen, though. Unreal. World champions, baby. Now, before the NBA Finals started, we had a bet on the show. If the Knicks won the championship, noted Nick hater, even though his dad is a diehard Knick fan, Gary 3D Boxing would eat a salad live on the air. And you could say a lot of things about Gary, but the one thing you can't say is that he's not a man of his word. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Extraordinary. Extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. That's extraordinary. It's quite extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. You know, women shouldn't vote. Just do laundry and vacuum. Extraordinary.
Gary. Nick hater? I'm not a Nick hater. I'm a
noted
Yankee
Nick hater.
I'm not a Nick
3D
hater.
Boxing.
What have I ever said like about hatred of? I don't hate the Knicks. How was the parade, Jacob?
It was awesome, man. It was chaotic getting there and crazy. Shout out to Lou B for telling the police that we worked at a deli.
My brother was there.
Did he get a view?
Not really. Like he said he couldn't see much. Yeah. What time did you get there? Like what time did you show up?
I overslept a little bit, so I didn't even get down there till like 7:30ish.
Yeah. My dad didn't go. My dad's like, there's no way I'm going. But he's been watching the game on loop for the last 3 days. My mom said he just watches the fourth quarter over and over. It's been 50 years. I feel it, right?
It's
like
amazing.
50 years.
I've rewatched some of the highlights from all the games so many times. Anytime I see like the condensed version of the 29-point comeback, I'm watching it every time.
My brother and my dad, my brother drove over his house. They watched every championship game together. So it's cool. I'm happy. I'm not in. If it was the Yankees winning the World Series, I'd be bitter. Do I seem bitter and upset about the Knicks winning?
Let's just see you eat a salad.
I'm not. I got from the fine people of Kroger. I got a salad here. It's got some bacon and chicken and egg. I'm gonna put that in it. You ready? You ready to do this?
Hold on. Let me give you some dramatic music. I mean, when was the last time you had a salad, Gary?
I've been carnivore for 3 years, over 3 years. Then I was. It's been probably at least 5 years since I've had a salad. At least 5, probably.
Now, for those new to the show, Gary famously said that salads are trying to kill you. So, are you concerned about your health?
This is not good for you. You shouldn't be eating this. I don't think one salad will kill me. Although you shouldn't be eating it. I'm looking at this and there's like nothing in it. I don't understand why people eat this.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gary. This is a moment that people will be discussing for years to come.
I don't doubt that either. Eating a salad.
Gary, I am going to kill you because you eat only butter. You need a salad like me.
All right. You ready to do this?
Hold on. There's a special guest that's going to join us for the ceremonial eating of the salad. Ladies and gentlemen, a man who always eats salads. He is a beacon of health. Beast joins us now for the moment. Hello, Beast.
There you go. Where's your dressing? What are you using?
It's ranch. It's ranch.
Where's your French? Where's your Russian? That's some real sexy dressing. I got a salad downstairs waiting for me. That's later for tonight. When I have a nice little sandwich to go with that.
How does it taste, Gary?
I mean, it tastes like a salad. It's not much. That's good. 5 out of 10.
That's supposed to be good for you too. That's roughage. You know why it's good roughage? It helps you go to the toilet a little bit more.
I had no problem going to the toilet.
You're supposed to have roughage. It's part of the system.
No, you're not. There's nothing in lettuce that you're supposed to have. The only thing I'm supposed to have is in the chicken, the bacon, and the egg. Nothing in here you're supposed to have. How much of this do I have to eat?
Boring. God, man. Get wolf it down, man. Wolf it. Come on. If I could wolf down a steak with eggs and maybe a thing of sausage, wolf it down like a man.
I'm eating a salad.
How do you think I got the guns right here? And
not from eating.
Not from eating. God, because of roughage, vegetables, and life. Grow some balls.
You certainly look like you eat
Grow
vegetables.
some balls. I'm
You
gonna
certainly look like you
Gary,
eat vegetables.
I am going to kill you because you eat only butter. You need a salad like me.
I'm only gonna say this once, and I'm gonna say it very slow. There. I'm gonna say it. I said it very slowly. That's how slow I had to make it. Make it slower so you get an understanding. See, that's supposed to be good for you. Salads are good for you. Vegetables are good for you. Fruits are good for you. Minute Maid's good for you. Why? It's all about muscle. It's all about power. It's all about endurance. It's about strength and wisdom, courage, and honor. See, that's something you don't have.
If somebody looks like Beast and they're telling you what's good for you, you should do the opposite. Just keep that in mind. He's telling you what's good for you. Look at him.
There's things about you you cannot
We're the
do.
same age. Look at him.
First of all, so what? What's that got to do with the price of tea
You're
and
built like
China?
a snowman. You're 42
First
years
of
old.
all,
You're a young man. You sort of look like
son,
that.
I'm built like a killing machine. I'm 6'1", 272, and I can kick your teeth down your throat and throw you around like a wooden round peg and just go, ugh, 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 ugh. You know, do bench presses like Scott Steiner and go, to all my freaks out there, big, pop, big, yo, hook up, holla, if you hear me.
There was a kid I went to high school with, and he was tremendously jacked, like on steroids, and he always screamed when he talked. He was a year older than me. No one knew his name. We just called him Scott Steiner. And so you reminded me of that when you started doing that.
It's because some people could be certified freaks.
Yeah.
See, there are
On
freaks,
steroids since the 8th
there
grade.
are peaks, and then there are geeks. And you don't fit for a geek, pal. You're more like a lumpy, grumpy lightweight. Lumpy, grumpy, lightweight.
What is a lumpy lightweight? What is that?
You fit in the perfect sea of welterweight, because in Mexico, for wrestling, they have a thing called the welterweight division. Welterweight. You don't watch Lucha Libre, do you?
Welterweight? W-E-L-T-E-R weight?
Welterweight. Watch a little bit of.
What is he saying? Water or welter? What is he saying? Spell
welterweight. For Mexico.
Spell it.
Do I have to put? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you some DVDs from Mexico that I got. I got CMLL. I got AAA. I got WWO from Mexico. I will send you some stuff from Mexico.
Gary,
Mexico.
I am going to kill you because you eat only butter. You need a salad like me.
All right, salad.
Plants are trying to kill me, so I think I'll eat a stick of butter.
Ladies and gentlemen, a man of his word, Gary has officially paid off his bet for the Knicks winning the NBA championship. A salad consumed live on the air with Beastbreaker on screen to be a part of the journey. Gary, how do you feel?
I feel okay. I'll let you know how my stomach is later. There was no Wednesday afternoon show. There was no show yesterday. There's no afternoon show today. I've been trying to pay off this debt, and like you haven't made life convenient for me. But
I'm sorry, Gary. I'm sorry. You know, life got in the way. I had to go to a world champion parade yesterday, baby.
You did, and I'm glad that you got to go because I'm not a Knicks hater. I know why you introduced me as a noted Knicks hater. I'm not a Knicks hater at all.
I just think it's crazy that you didn't become a Knicks fan when your brother's a Knicks fan and your dad is a diehard fan of the team, and you could have just picked the Knicks and been like your family, but you had to be different.
So I took all the opposite. My dad's a Giant fan, a Yankee fan, and a Knicks fan. The Jets and the Mets, he doesn't like. He's all right with that. He just thinks it's utterly ridiculous that I'm a Nets fan. He's like the Nets. I remember being a kid, like you're going to stick with this. You're going to be a Nets fan. He just thinks it's utterly ridiculous that anyone would root for the Nets. That's the one that kind of sticks in his core. He's fine with me being a Mets fan and a Yankees fan. The Nets really sticks in his craw. PBM wants to talk to me in the private. Can you? Is that cool? PBM says, "Can I talk to Gary?"
Ladies and gentlemen,
Is that
PBM
cool?
is on the line.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Oh, fuck.
I thought you
Congrats
would
to-
like this,
congrats to
Gary.
your Knicks, Mike. Congrats to your Nick. I'm not a
Thanks, brother.
Knicks hater.
I'm not coming after you.
Okay,
I'm not.
cool.
This ain't even about the Knicks. I was at the UFC 250.
Oh.
There was a bunch of boxers there.
Yeah.
I didn't know their names. One of them last name Garcia. I'm not sure. I don't think it was Ryan Garcia though, but whatever. They announced like some big fight with Tyson Fury and whatever. But I picked up some UFC Freedom gloves. I think you'll like get a kick out of that. How sick is that?
There you go. That's
And
awesome.
lastly,
That's dope, bro.
Nick related though. How do you feel now about the picks? Do you think it was a tie now? Do you think that we won?
The trade is still. It doesn't matter anymore because you won a championship. The trade is still a terrible trade, but it doesn't make it. It's like the Pistons drafting Darko over Wade and Carmelo. It's still a terrible pick, but ultimately, who cares? You won a championship. Like for two of the games, Bridges was on the bench during crunch time. It's like okay, like it's fine. It doesn't matter. You won a championship. It doesn't make any difference if the trade was good or not. You were able to overcome the trade. You won a championship. It's fine.
That's why I say.
Would I make that trade 10 times out of 10 if I'm a Nets fan? Do I make that trade every time? Of course I do. I got 5 picks for
Do you make it knowing
a
that the
rotational guy.
Knicks won because of it?
The
Does
Knicks
it matter?
didn't win because of it. 2 of the games he was on the bench in crunch time.
Yeah,
He's
but
like
he
the
was part.
7th best player on the team.
We don't
You're
win.
better
We
off
don't
with
win the
Shannon in the
championship
game.
without him. We don't win the championship.
Yes, you
without
do.
him.
yes, you do.
I don't think
you
so.
absolutely do.
The whole Nova Knicks thing with the camaraderie and everything.
Mikhail played a big part in the runs the last
it
2
doesn't
years.
matter.
He was great
Played a big run.
defensively. Yeah,
Played a big
he's
run.
a champion. He
Great defender on the wing. He's good.
You guys
sacrificed.
Yes, you want you yes.
Durable as anything too.
Yeah, because
Don't have to worry about injuries. I don't think he's ever missed a game. Right? He's never missed
hasn't.
a game.
Never.
He's a forever Nick now,
in college
Gary.
or the pros.
He's a forever
Yeah.
Nick.
He is. Congratulations to Mikal Bridges. Congratulations to the Knicks. I'm not a Knicks hater. If this was the Yankees, we'd be having a very different, bitter conversation. Congratulations.
Gary,
I'm
can
not
you call
upset at
back
all.
in?
Like, I'm not.
Do me a favor, call back in. If you're having any health related problems, we'll bring you on. If you need me to call you an ambulance as well, we'll get that situated.
I know you got a doctor on hold, so that's good.
Well,
You're a
actually,
health
I have a
professional.
man on hold who's going to show you how it's actually done in terms of eating a salad.
Look at that. Look at this. Delish. Nothing says
Eat
it.
whatever
my
you want.
friend. Hey, as the Japanese guy said from the replacements, good. Get the hell out of here then. Hey, I'm Japanese, not Chinese. You know, Japan and China are 2 different countries, right? Yeah, and I can be a what? A modified gangster?
I know that China and Japan are 2 different countries. I'm aware of that.
Yeah, and certified.
Did you know that, Jake? You know that China and Japan are 2 different countries.
Yeah. Ah, woo, 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 woo. Okay, gentlemen, relax. Whatever. I'm gonna go sit with the little guy over here. Okay.
Beast, how's the salad? What are you having it?
Oh, this is a chicken salad. Oh, beautiful. Nice work. Thousand Island dressing, croutons, little fresh of the little bit of the cut cheese that they threw in, a little grated, and also some fresh chicken.
Other than the chicken.
$3.
You understand that? You understand that like croutons aren't good for you. Russian dressing isn't good for you. Lettuce isn't good for you. Do you understand that?
quiet,
There's nothing in it that's good for you other than the chicken. You could just eat the chicken and be better off.
I'm about to... Cállate, espera. Este compañero tiene la chava del 8. Me estás que te pidiendo. Ahora se está pidiendo corriente de colota. Esto no corriente chusma, cabrón.
See, Gary, this is why
Did you
Beast
know
is a
that
beacon
China
of
and
help.
Japan? I know.
Did
But
you
did you
ever
know
watch
that
El
China
Chavo?
and Japan are actually two different countries?
I learned today, thanks to Beast.
You know I also did a little piece of El Chavo. Did you ever watch El Chavo?
El Chapo?
No, El Chavo.
No, I don't know.
C-H-A-V-O. El Chavo.
I don't know what you're
I
talking
used to
about.
watch El Chavo when I was a kid. That guy was funny, especially him, Ramon, and Kiko. Now that's what I call entertainment. Check it out. It used to be
Razor
on, it used to be
Ramon
on-
and
it
Owen
used to be
Hart
on
were my
Univision.
favorite wrestlers growing up. How do you feel about those guys?
Who?
Owen Hart and Razor Ramon. Those are my favorite wrestlers growing up.
I have Owen Hart in my roster. I know who Razor Ramon is. You know, Chico.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why I thought of that.
spare
When
me,
you said
spare
El
me
Chavo,
the,
I thought
spare
about
me,
Chico
me,
for some reason.
Chico. Casianas, come on, man. Hey, the bad guy gets what he wants. The bad guy
Gary,
gets what he likes.
I am going to kill you because you eat only butter. You need a salad like me.
Gary, well done today, sir. Hopefully you don't die.
Thank you, Jake. Congratulations
I'm
again.
going to the
Hopefully.
finish when I eat me some salad.
Plants are trying to kill me, so I think I'll eat a stick of butter.
Get a stick of butter on the shelf next to Gary immediately, just in case. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday I attended the Knicks championship parade because we told police officers we worked at the deli that was just past the checkpoint. The man who came up with that brilliant scheme, so we were one of the people that actually got a view of this parade, is on the line. Lou B joins us. Hello, Lou.
What a day yesterday, Jake. Yeah, we I can't believe how many people didn't get into the parade, but I was like, we have to figure out a plan. So we saw a pizzeria that was like on a double decker pizzeria. We got the phone number. I got the manager's
It was
name.
a pizza and deli, right? It was the same owners.
It's the Stage Deli in Manhattan, right on Vesey, and then above it's a pizzeria. So we saw like glass. So like, all right, if we can just get to that glass, maybe we can see it. So we had to like go up to the police, say that we worked there. Then I said it was a birthday party. I said we're not even Knick fans, we're actually Net fans. We just didn't want to get beat up. So we had 20 pizza pies. It's his birthday in the back. So the guy was just like, I had enough. Just go. So you guys got in first, and then we got in, and then we didn't even need to watch from the deli. We ended up, going where we went. We had an incredible view. I felt so bad for a lot of people that didn't get in. But what an experience. I am nicked the fuck out. I am nicked out. This has been a journey. I feel as tired as the players. I don't know how they do it. Just wild, man. Wild, wild, wild. But I can tell you yesterday.
World champs, baby. World champs.
That's right. When we were there yesterday, all that, Jake was like, just enjoy this moment, because I was like, look, when the Jets get here, we can station over there, and we can tell people to meet over here, because, that will be green one day. That will be a sea of green sooner than later. Within the next 3 years, I believe that we're in a better planned parade than that, because that was the planning was just very messed up.
The
mayor had the best
really
speech,
expanded. Yeah.
the worst plan. Best speech, worst plan. It's really how it went down yesterday.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like it obviously was amazing for those who got to see it, and just the energy down there for everyone who was a part of it. But it's just, you want people to have, anyone who wants to go, to have the chance to go and actually see it. Like if you got there at 6 a.m. and still didn't get a chance to see any of it for a parade that didn't start till after 10, that's criminal. So they got to do a better job for what hopefully becomes a regular thing with these teams in New York winning championships over the years to give people more of an opportunity.
You said it best. To think of someone that couldn't afford to go to the games and then just waited for the parade all this time and then doesn't get to see the parade is criminal.
I know people that flew in from Florida or other parts of the country with their families to go and be a part of it. So they
class action lawsuit from a few million people to the city of New York City, because that's real. It was terrible, man. They should have not done that.
This was our view, though. Like these are the videos I took on my phone yesterday. Look at the people in the windows. It was unbelievable.
Cat was wilding out. To me, he was the life of the party. Cat was incredible.
Kolick was great too. I don't know, Tyler Kolick, who the police thought was a fan. I don't know if you saw that viral video. They thought he was a fan that overran the barricades. He's like, I'm on the team. we had reverse racism there. The one white guy on the Knicks, the police thought was a fan, and they almost arrested him on the spot. So someone came over and said, "Hey man, he's on the team. He's on the team."
Oh God, that was funny. But see the guy in the tree. That was the best. That's the real MVP right there. That guy did not come down. He didn't care who told him to come down. There were no fucks given in that parade. There was some shit going on that you could never imagine. Like no planet, world, universe would do the shit that the Knicks parade did yesterday. Look at him right there in the tree. This guy. There was like naked people on the poles. I mean, it was wild. It was just wild. I'm just pissed for the people that didn't get in. But we made our way through.
Yeah, I mean, again, this video will be showing like what people in New York were like 100 years ago. Like, it's crazy.
Wild. But it was a great time. And like I said, I am nicked out. This was a journey. When the playoffs started and this run happened, I mean, me and you at these games was just crazy. And what an experience. And I am so ready for the Jets season right now. So ready. So ready for camp. So ready for preseason. And so ready for these games and for Tennessee, Barstool, and especially our party, July 11th.
Let's go. Tell the people what's coming. Wayne Corbett. You booked Wayne Corbett for this thing, Lou.
Yeah, because Nick Shine wasn't happy. He's his favorite player. So I was like, let me call Wayne up, and we got Wayne to come. So Wayne's going to be there. He's excited. He knows the property as well. He's been there in the past. And he's going to be hanging out with us. So Gangrene Beach Club, here we go, July 11th. I know Jake has the ticket link. Gangrene Beach Club is the ticket link. So that's going to be the first event. And then we're off to Tennessee. So we got the Barstool the day before the game, the bar crawl and the tailgate. And then we have the game, which is hopefully we win. I think I'm real confident in this team right now. The way that Frank doesn't sound like a guy that just bullshits. Like, he doesn't seem like a guy who embellishes it unless it's like real, because he knows he's going to have to, be accountable for those words. I think Gino's looking good. That's what Frank
He's a professional quarterback, so they have a chance that the other elements of the team are up to par. To quote Beast.
I'm excited. I'm excited. But you guys have a great day. One experience. So the other part about yesterday was PBM did not make it to us. That was he left so early, had all these plans. Then he's telling me Vesey Street shut down. PBM gave me anxiety yesterday, telling me that Vesey was shut down. I'm like, we're fucked. And he didn't make it to us, but we got to see him at the end of the day at American.
PBM could have said he worked for the deli or the pizza place, just like us. Right there with
us. We're getting in. You knew, Jake. We were getting in no matter what.
I full disclosure, I was this close to just saying, I'll just go back to my apartment, watch the parade, and then I'll meet up with everyone at American Whiskey after. I can't close. I was just like, I just didn't want to deal with the crowds. And I'm like, I've been lucky. I went to every single Knicks playoff game during this run. I saw my team I love win a championship, and I was in the building for every home game they played at Madison Square Garden during this run. I'm like, if I can't get a great view of the parade, well worth it for what I got to experience. Very lucky to have that chance. I was this close to leaving, and then somehow, next thing I know, we're like right on Vesey and Barclay, and we have the sickest view of the whole thing.
Yeah, what they did was they shut down the pods. They said it was filled, and then that's the barricade that actually got rushed, Jake. That was the one that went down. They took that one down. That's why it was so hard for us to get out of there. So some of the barricades got taken down. That was the main one that the fan just pushed it down and just went straight, man. And I don't blame them. Yeah,
it's just insane when you see some of these crowd shots.
It was wild, and people were having a great time. Nobody was pushing. It was, if someone passed out, we were like helping them in 2 seconds. There was a lot of love there. I know some shit happens and some shit's going to happen, but there was a lot of love in that parade, man. A lot of love. People were very, very kind to each other, I thought, because it's tough when you're being told you can't go see the parade. Like, what? What do you mean I can't go to the parade? Yeah, this is closed. It's filled over there. It's like they could have made this thing from one side of Manhattan to the other if they wanted to. And that's it. It was crazy. We were on the trains and going back and forth. It was just wild.
World champions, Lou.
That's right.
And the Jets are next, right?
Yeah, the Jets are definitely next. That's why I went there, to really scout out what we need to do.
Yeah.
I was like, this is where the tractor trailer comes through. We could set up here. Yeah, we were wild there, man. It was quite the experience. This is my buddy Brian. I was like, Brian, stick with me. His friends, by the way, wanted to leave early. I said, yo, you go. They didn't even get in. So a lot of people that broke off from us, they didn't get in. But
my friend Greg saw my Instagram later. He shot me a message. He goes, I should have stayed with you because I ran into him when I first got there. And I'm like, I'm going over here. He's like, you think you'll get in? I go, I feel confident with the people I'm with. If there's a way to scheme this thing, we're going to find a way.
Yeah, basically. I was telling the cop, we have a birthday party there. You can't stop that business from having a birthday party. I was like, I don't even want to hear this shit no more, right? So Angela's from Stage Deli and Pizza. Anyone, if you can support that business today.
Stage Door Deli, Lower Manhattan. Give them your business, Asmaniacs, because they made dreams come true.
We tried to go there to have dinner afterwards, but the line was literally down the block to get into this. We're like, all right, that plan's gone. I feel bad for Mike Duramo because he got there early, he waited, and then we went around to look for you, and we lost Mike Duramo.
Yeah, we lost him.
Him and his daughter. I felt so bad. They were with us, and it's like collateral damage. Now you lose some people.
Survival of the fittest. It's just
really, he kept on saying it. They kept on saying survival of the fittest. It's survival of the fittest. But you have a good day. But I am ready for the fucking Jets. I can't wait. Tailgating. Anyone that goes to any game, I will be there. I promise. So just hit me up. And that's
Let's
it.
go,
July
Lou.
11th. It's all about
World
it.
champions, ladies and gentlemen. Come meet Lou B and Wayne Corbett at Gangrene Beach Club. Yeah.
He's throwing parties for Jets fans. You see him shouting at Knicks games. This guy's getting that beast his hot water. 69 so many times he's lost count. No surrender, he's never leaving early. Jets, Lou B.
Let's go. Lou B making it happen for Wayne Corbett. Wayne is the man. I've interviewed him. He's been, anyone who's watched the show long enough, we've had Wayne on a couple times. He obviously has a great relationship with Sabo. They do the podcast together. So Wayne will be there. Can't wait to see him and talk some ball with him. I mean, come on, people. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a day. It's going to be like our own championship parade in the summer. GangreneBeachClub.com. Get your tickets now if you haven't done so already. All right, I got time for a couple more calls. Reminder, if you tuned in late, in honor of Wayne Corbett joining us at Gangrene Beach Club, today's raffle prize I have in my hands. If you win and you get me your address in a speedy manner, I'll drop it off and get it shipped to you before I head down to Soho to do my radio show from 3 to 7 on ESPN today. Wayne Corbett signed jerseys, the prize. Enter for your chance to win. It's your last show you could enter if you want in on the weekly raffle, which will be Sunday this week. Brunson Finals jersey, Gangrene Beach Club tickets, 2 of them I'm giving away. Darrell Rivas end zone pylon, Joe Klecko signed helmet, and a Garrett Wilson signed helmet are the top prizes. Derek, the Kansas Jet fan, gifting a membership. Let's go, Derek.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York. New York! Woo! New York! World champions!
Beningo fired up. We had Joe on the show yesterday. I released the interview. So if you want to hear Joe's full thoughts on the Knick title and the optimism he has for hopefully being alive to see his Jets win another one, check it out. I posted that one yesterday morning in place of a live show because I was down at the parade watching the Knicks go down the Canyon of Heroes. All right, couple calls left. Last chance if you want in. We say hello to Phenom, who's next on the show today. What's up, Phenom?
Well, congratulations to you on getting to the parade and you know, and soaking in all that energy. What a great day in New York it was yesterday. I was like a lot of people got down there and had to abort. Nowhere around. Don't have no great ideas. Didn't think of that Lou B idea about going to the pizza parlor and working that out. What a great plan, Lou B. You are the man. Unbelievable. Draft, parade. He's like your travel agent now, Jake. He's your secret partner. Unbelievable.
Unreal.
What great shots. I'm glad you made it. It was a special day in New York. Since we had to abort, we went and ate breakfast, went to an Irish pub, watched on TV, soaked down a couple of cold ones, and picked up the AM New York, What a fabulous AM New York was yesterday. All kinds of advertisements, all kinds of beautiful artwork about the Nova Knicks winning the championship. Just a great day in New York. So happy you made it down there. Unbelievable. What energy in the city yesterday. And then Alicia Keys topping it off.
She was great.
Perfect, man.
Yep.
Only thing could have been better was Queen singing "We Are the Champions."
Yeah.
That would have been the only thing to top it off. I'll think before you then. We are the champions, my friends. We'll keep on fighting to the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losing because we are the champions of the world. That's it. Unbelievable.
Phenom, you're the man, baby.
Love
You're the
it,
man.
love it. Knicks.
Let's go.
Yeah, we are the champions. Me and my friends for New York. We love the Knicks.
We got to get a Phenom Mikey Midnight collaboration. We are the champions. There's another shot of the crowd, by the way. Unreal, man. And again, there's so many people who were there that don't, I guess, count for the 2 million. Like, I don't know how the NYPD estimates 2 million. Because I think there could have been way more than 2 million. I don't think you're ever going to get a real answer. Because you had people who were there who left. Do they count? I know plenty of people in my life who were there and then left. Went to a different bar nearby or went to the bars near the Garden. Yesterday I was hanging out at American Whiskey, which is my go-to, and our ESPN New York afternoon show was broadcasting from Stout. So I stopped by there as well. Chef Kevin in the house. He was at American Whiskey with us yesterday. Yesterday's parade was magical. Great seeing you, Jake, and the rest of the Asmaniacs. Now we need the Jets to do the same thing. Amen. Shout out to Chef Kev, by the way, wearing the Jake Asman Show apron with all his Knicks gear at this parade. And Chef Kev brought his wife and his awesome son. It was so cool to hang out with Kev and a bunch of the Asmaniacs who were there. And a lot of the people who were there weren't all in this photo. Some people came late, some people left, but good turnout of people who regularly watch the show who were there yesterday, which was awesome. Someone goes, whose basement is that? And that's just like one of the corners of like American Whiskey, which is so funny. Last chance to get in both the raffle and on today's show. We only have 18 gifted memberships during this show right now. So I want to gift a membership to the community because you guys are the best. So if you want one, you have 10 seconds to like the video and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Ladies and gentlemen, one gifted membership from yours truly is on the way. It went to listener James Finnan. So, James, I'm putting you down in the Asmaniac raffle for one. All right, let's keep rolling with your last second calls here on a Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
How you doing?
What's up, Kyle?
I'll keep this brief. I have to take Clifton Jr. to a birthday party in a couple of minutes. It looked like a madhouse down there yesterday. I'm kind of glad I didn't go, and also simultaneously sorry I missed it.
Right? It's cool to say I was there. It was an absolute bleep show for a lot of it, though. There's no doubt.
So, out of curiosity, were there any carrots in Gary's salad? Do we know?
I did not see any carrots, although Cisco sent me a video of Gary on the Addy show eating some carrots. So he did eat carrots there, and he ate the salad on our show.
Okay, interesting. The other thing I wanted to talk about was A.D. Mitchell. I mean, Nick had brought him up before, and we're tempted with the promise of a lot of guys on this team, right? Is this going to be the year that they pop, whether it's AD or Mason Taylor was discussed, and will this finally be the year that Will McDonald breaks through and is a little bit more consistent? For me, AD is the guy that if he's ever going to take the next step, this is the year, because he's finally got a guy that is going to unabashedly throw the ball downfield, right? And with some of the other speed on this team, like I feel like there are going to be guys open, and Gino is going to take chances. Now that means that there's going to be some really spectacular plays and some really spectacular turnovers.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get some, and hopefully he gets off to a good start this year, so his confidence builds off of what happened last year with the Raiders. Because you're right, he's going to make mistakes. That's him, but he's also going to make big plays. But we need the big plays to happen first before some of the mistakes, so he builds his confidence.
Right, and if he can just minimize those and have us look like a halfway competent offense, which we obviously were not on the field. I mean, to me, so much of it comes down to the game management of Glenn, because he's gonna have to be able to put us in position to win in game, and he didn't do that last year. So let's see if he can take the leap. But with a competent quarterback and with some of these young players that we were scouted and by not just us but other teams and were thought pretty highly of, I mean, with a decent coaching staff, some of these guys could pop and we could surprise. I'm not saying playoffs, but like I don't expect another was it 3 wins, or I would expect that we're going to play competitive games into November this year, and I don't think that's too much to ask for. Lastly, on the Knicks, you don't think that there's any? They were talking about, like, I guess the owner was saying that there's no game. Like they were trying to get him to say Cat was safe, or they're talking about his extension. He's coming back, right? Like there's no secret.
I mean, he's under contract, but he can sign a huge extension. The question with him is, will he take a little less, like Jalen did, who took a lot less? Bridges didn't take the full max. Will he take a little less so they have a better chance long term to keep this team together? The starting 5 is all under contract for another 2 years, but like with the way the cap works for the NBA, if you go into the second apron, which Dolan says he won't, which I actually don't believe that. I don't think he understands how you could go into it 1 year, then whatever. I don't want to bore people with salary cap stuff, but look, to answer your question, I think Cat is here no matter what, and they're going to give him a new extension.
Well, someone's got to talk to him and say, listen, these guys are still mostly in their primes. We got to defend it. So, like,
they're young.
He doesn't get that.
This is not an old team. Like, again, like this team. This team is all in their prime right now. Their window is right now. Like, they have a chance to go out there and do it again next year. No team has won back-to-back the last 8 years in the NBA, so that's the goal for the Knicks, to be the first team that's won back-to-back.
And what you're going to see is a lot of movement for some of their rivals, and sometimes it takes a year or two for those guys to gel.
Yep.
It's just a matter of, can they lengthen the bench? Can they get some of these other guys that are on the bench?
Can they get Mitch back? Can they find a way to keep Shamet? I feel more confident in Mitch coming back than I do Shamet, because I think someone's going to pay Landry Shamet because he's a good defender and he can hit threes, and plenty of teams need that.
Right. I appreciate your time, Jake.
Kyle, good call. Love it. World champion New York Knicks. Yeah, baby. This is my view for the parade. It will never get old. Couple gifted membership shout outs, and then there's a guy on the line who was at the parade yesterday, had a great view of it, and was part of the reason why Gary had to call in earlier and eat a salad. But first, let me shout out Derek, the Kansas Jet fan. He's in the raffle for one.
Just don't let go of the rope.
Derek, thank you. Cisco Lopez checking in. Cisco gifted 10 earlier. How about 5 more from one of the all-time greats?
Sometime I do super chat. Sometime I do gift membership. But all the time, I love the Jake Asman show. They call me Cisco Lopez.
If you got a membership from Cisco, thank him. Phenom gifted 1 membership. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for 1. Let's go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phenom. Awesome call before. Colin Wolford checking in. What's up, Colin? How about 5 gifted memberships from Colin?
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
And last but certainly not least, the Poon Man, Major Poonage, gifting 5. Let's go. He is in the raffle. Boom.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
All right. Last call for entries. Wayne Krebet signed jersey is the prize. We are going to raffle that one away very, very shortly. Joining us right now, live from the streets of Manhattan, is a man who was at the Knicks ticker tape parade yesterday. Nate, parentheses Nate. Hello, Nate.
Yes, I feel like I've been on the streets of Manhattan for 2 weeks straight. It's been a party ever since Game 4. Dude, Jake, we're living a dream.
What time did you get there yesterday?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Sorry. What's your problem? You're in the crosswalk, dickhead. You're in the crosswalk. So I got there like 6:45. I woke up super late. Well, but I told you this. I had rented a studio. I got really lucky. I jumped through a bunch of loopholes, joined a membership to some dance place, and got a studio for really cheap. And I didn't think it was going to work out. I saw the lines there. I got there 6:45. I saw the U's and S's, and I was like, all right, I'm probably going home. Went to a cop, showed him my email, and said, yeah, I have this place rented out. Can you let me through? And he's like, all right, looks official. My other friends were there. We met up, and all of a sudden, by 7 o'clock, I'm standing like front row in the parade. The studio opened at 8, and I just sent you some pictures. I don't know if you're able to download them by now. But then I was able to sit in the window of the studio the whole time by myself. I had the whole air-conditioned studio, bathroom, drinks, everything to myself, and it was right at like the turn of the parade. So it was kind of where everybody was stopping, and like coaches were looking up, players looking up, and pointing to all the windows. It was just one of the most amazing memories. And
wait a second. Was this so how much did it cost to rent a dance studio then?
Jake, I can't even, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. So and on top of that, Jake, whatever you're thinking is not happening because I already donated enough to them that I told them when the Jets win the Super Bowl, that's mine as well. Me and them are lock and key, baby. So when the Jets win the Super Bowl, that place can hold 35 people as long as you guys take your sneakers off.
Wow.
We might have some exclusive as maniacs. They're like, because the guy emailed me back. He's like, this is a no shoe studio. I was like, no worries. Like, I'll be naked if you need me to. I'll be there as long as you let me in. So then as you see in those pictures, I'm like sitting on I'm sitting on the corner and just everybody's looking. It was the greatest thing ever. I'm eye contact.
That's brilliant, dude. That's a great tax write-off too. That's a work expense.
Dude, not only that, almost all of my friends outside of 2 or 3 thought it wasn't going to work, so didn't come. They were just like, nah, like you can't get like. I was like, I have it rented. Like they said they're going to let people who live and people who work in the area, they're going to let them in. That's how the people get in the office buildings, right? For the ticket taker. Like if I have the studio rented, why wouldn't they let me in? I guess I spoke to the right cop. So yeah, I've been on an absolute high for ever since leaving Game 4 with you. And
what part of the parade was this? Was this towards the end or the beginning?
It's literally right at the turn.
Oh, so
it was very much at the end because everyone the best part was they were getting in traffic jams at the turn. So the floats were there for 10 or 15 minutes. McCall's there he would popped out with the fans. They're all chanting "fuck them picks" for a while. Jalen Brunson's float was there for long. I think he had to get off and start walking. Same with Patrick Ewing. Like the turn, there was so much traffic there that people just started getting off, and players were kind of interacting with fans. And Josh Hart got out, giving high fives to everyone there because their floats kind of stagnated at that point.
That's awesome. I can't believe you rented a studio. That's great.
All of these dancers came in, and they're just like, oh my God, we're the Knicks City Dancers. Who's that? So I'm explaining, like, that's Jalen Brunson. He's really good at basketball. That's the MVP. That's why everyone's going crazy. It was just such a wild fucking environment to be in. And then on top of it, I had AC and snacks. And I also learned the dancers taught me a box step or something like that. Whatever. So, yeah, it was a really fulfilling day. And especially after seeing the stories afterwards of everyone. If the cop didn't let me in, there was no way I was getting into that parade because I arrived too late. It seemed like if you didn't get there at 3 a.m., you were going to have an issue.
And even people who did still got screwed over. It really depended on the entry point you went to and if you got lucky
exactly.
or not. Like, it's crazy.
Exactly. If you went in the north side or super south side, where near where the train stations were, I guess you probably weren't going to get lucky. If you went to one of those like John Street or something in the middle, I don't know where you ended up with those. I know you shared that one video this morning that those streets were so densely packed. I've never seen anything like it. And people in construction vests climbing up the side of buildings. It was a lifetime of memories all in the last week or so. I still can't believe it. I mean, even just the championship itself, what it's going to do for the city, the millions of kids. Jake, I run a basketball program. Next morning, people are emailing me about, can we do summer camps? Well, can we do do you do birthday parties? My kid wants to do a party immediately to celebrate the final. Like, kids are so excited, and kids want to play like Jalen Brunson, not like Steph Curry. Like it was ugly in youth basketball when kids were walking over the half-court line, pointing at the ground like LaMelo Ball. and shooting an air ball. Like, that was not a fun generation of basketball. So, like, the fact that this Knicks team, like, none of this Knicks team even shot, like, does this team shoot moving threes? Maybe Shamet does a little, but, like, unless they have a wide open three, and their feet are set, that's when this Knicks team is taking a three. If they got someone closing out, all 5 players on the court know how to attack a closeout and get 2 feet in the paint. It's just like, that's how you want kids playing. That's how New Yorkers grew up playing. Like, you can't shoot the ball. There's too much fucking wind out here. So you take the ball to the hole. You play 21, right? It's you versus 8 guys. They emulate the basketball that we play here and the attitude. And it's I can't fathom what this means to the city, to the championship, to the next, like, the whole generation. I'm in a bad situation right here.
Nate,
go ahead, Truck.
Great call, man. Be safe. That's amazing with the dance studio. We'll keep if the Jets, God willing, are ever in a position to do that. We'll have to plan something. Baby. That's unreal. Unreal. Great, ladies and gentlemen. Great call there from Nate recapping the parade.
Yeah, we are the champions. Me and my friends for New York. We love the Knicks.
You imagine 35 of us, that view for a Jet Super Bowl parade? Unreal. PBM in the house. Nate, count me in for the next one. I don't care what it is. Put Nate in for 2. Nate in the raffle for 2, courtesy of Purple Belt Mike. Let's go, baby.
Jet up. Let's go.
Man, renting a dance studio. Brilliant. I'd do it. If the Yankees win, I'd do it for the Yankees. I'd get it. As Maniac Media Corporation, big tax write-off, and we'll have some people join us for the parade. That's awesome. Just no shoes. That's a fair compromise. No shoes to watch your team go down the Canyon of Heroes. But selfishly, again, if the Jets ever were to win, I hope they would adjust the parade route so more people could be a part of it. Ozzy in the raffle for 1. Thank you very much, Ozzy.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Last call for raffle entries. I have begun counting all of them. We are going to spin the wheel of champions shortly to give away a Crabette jersey. Today's closer is on the line.
If Mad Max ain't yapping about Jets, that boy, he's jamming, he's slamming, freaking dancing, wall smashing. I'm Jake Asman. If Mad Max ain't ever stopped yapping, that boy, he still be dancing. Then call Jake Asman. He got an orange wall.
What's up, Maniacs? How you guys doing today? So let's talk about some of my points. So the Knicks championship parade. What does this mean for the Jets? What did we learn from this Knicks parade? We learned, we can still win with bad ownership. For years, Jake, the Knicks, their fans are complaining about James Dolan. Oh, he's the worst owner in the league. You could never win with him. But they won all right. This is what we've shown. We got to get a proven head coach. For the Knicks, they fired Fizdale, and they got Tom Thibodeau, respected coach. For the Jets, they got to fire Aaron Glenn. And for the Aaron Glenn truthers out there, how many let's see, Jake, how many truthers are still out there? I know Ricky New York's a truther. Johnny is an Aaron Glenn truther. I have a question for him. What does Aaron Glenn do well as a head coach? He doesn't do anything good, Jake. We need to get players. We do have $3 billion. So with the $3 billion, we need players who have muscles. We have players that need fight. These Knicks players, they're tough son of bitches. Jalen Brunson, he had 45 points. He doesn't stay down through adversity. He rises up. Cat, people say he was overhyped. Jalen Brunson, he couldn't be a 1A. Jake, we need players that fight. We need players that have muscles. We need players who have they have the balls of a champion, like Johnny Lawrence types. We need players who have balls. Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
You ever consider duct tape? You ever consider duct tape?
Honestly, V-Striker.
God, you are way off your hinges and you are out of date. Get your own goddamn catchphrases and stop stealing my heat.
V-Striker,
I built my own.
Not in my league, buddy. You're not in my league.
See, here's the difference, little fella. You're down in the toilet. I'm at top of the human skyscraper. You cannot break a skyscraper. with that little whatever that is in your brain. That you don't have that. Pal.
Where do you even work these days? Where
This
do you
is
even
your
work?
worst nightmare here, pal. You know, I am your worst nightmare. And I can kill you with this power right here. This is pure power. 272, 35 major world belts, 5 major top corporations in the United States, and supports who? Germany, and supports England for the World Cup. So if I were you, shut your pie hole and take a licking. And as they all say in the real world, get the stepping. Now take a walk and say, Vato.
Beefpicker, you're not in my league, buddy. What job do you work
Kid,
right now? I work at Jersey
something. Let me
Mike's.
tell you one more thing. I got 2 grandkids. I got a daughter. I got a son-in-law. So if I were you, shut your trap or drop down and give me 25. How you like them apples? You are as terrible as the Mormon Tabernacle Choir in crackhead mode. I gotta go take a shit right now.
Max, thanks for the time today.
Sounds good, Jake. And honestly, let's talk about the Jets. We do have $3 billion.
Hey, you never know.
That's my thoughts on the Jets after watching the Knicks win. Hey, you never know. Ladies and gentlemen, all the raffle names have been counted for today's program. A Wayne Corbett signed jersey is our prize. And right now we need to bring on the master of raffle ceremony as we'll spin the wheel of champions here on a Football Friday. So we say hello to this man.
Sadiq, certified freak. Just got off the John. Oh, yeah. We're running. You know what time it is? It's summertime, baby. You know what time it is? Woo! Let's party up and party up. Let's get that wheel of champions. And now that I feel so lucky, somebody get me the wheel of champions as we take up to spin down the memory lane. Now, do what you want. Okay, I believe you. Let's do it now. And rock your body on top. Okay, shake, 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 Sinora. Let's spin that wheel of champions. Shake, 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 Sinora. Let's go. And now, go right now.
Smartass. It's time for that daily Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Now that is a man's man right there, folks. Excellent job, Beast. Excellent job. Ladies and gentlemen, one spin to determine a winner. If you win, email me to claim your prize, asmanjake@gmail.com. Black Gypsy, the last person to enter today, he gifted a membership at the buzzer.
Good job.
Thank you, Mr. Gypsy. I'm going to add his name to the wheel right now. All right. 73 names are on it, but only one can win. You're all entered in the weekly raffle, which will be Sunday this week. That is the projected start time. Good luck to all. The winner of a signed Wayne Corbett jersey is Mimosa. Let's go.
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
Mimosa, the winner. She won a Knicks NBA Finals hat and playoff towel earlier in the week, and now a signed jersey by the great Wayne Corbett, who will be at Gangrene Beach Club on July 11th. You guys are the best. Thank you for tuning in this week. Let's go Knicks. If you want more of me, 4 hours worth of it today. Me and Ty Butler filling in on the afternoon show on ESPN New York from 3 until 7. So we'll talk Knicks, talk about anything else going on in sports. What else is going on in sports? I've been so locked in to the Knicks. But we'll get into, I'm sure, Yankees, Mets, World Cup, U.S. in action today at 3 for those who follow. Hopefully the United States can keep winning and captivate us there. Until then, though, I will talk to you guys on Sunday. You guys are the best. Let's go Jets. And happy birthday to one of our own, Neil, who was a star on a recent foreplay episode. Go, Neil.
Mouth every
Star
time,
mouth
man.
goes,
These guys.
it's all time.
The veteran move. These guys know what they're doing. Oh! And one more. Good, good, good. Good. See what we got.
Come on, James!
It rolled right.
You took one less.
Hey, Neil. You were all over that.
Neil, right behind you. Come here.
Look where it landed.
I played with him enough. Said it was
Everybody wish Neil a happy 65th birthday, ladies and gentlemen.
almost got the hole in one on his 65th.
These goddamn exploding cigars. Like, gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane, and if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets!